What's it been like, kind of getting used to the room, that kind of thing?
Yeah, it's been good. The guys are working really hard. I like their attitude every day. It's a get better approach, which is big for me. They've taken the coaching. I think collectively as a group on our side of the ball, there's a good cohesiveness right now. So I like the leadership that we have, and I think taking steps in the right direction. So it's been very positive.
You're still getting used to this?
No, man. I like green. Yeah, my wife says green makes me look taller, so it's all good with me.
What about, I guess, this group, this coaching staff attracted you to Baylor? I
Yeah.
guess, why are you here?
Oh, I mean, obviously, the opportunity to learn from Coach Aranda was a big piece of this. Staying in the state of Texas and being able to recruit kids from this state is a big deal for me as well. That's what I've been able to do for the majority of my career. And, I'm just excited about what we're building here. This place has the bones and the pedigree to be a championship level program. They've proven it in the past, and I think we can continue to do that here.
What's the biggest thing you want to teach these players during these spring practices?
I think probably the professionalism piece. Obviously we ask a lot of them. They got to go to school, they got to eat, they got to take care of their bodies, they got to hydrate, all those things, and then they got to find time to study football. So for me, that's probably been the biggest push on my end, is like, hey, I know you guys want to have your time, and everybody wants free time, but in order to be really good at something, it's the 10,000 hour rule, right? They got to put in the time, and they got to put in as much effort into that, and you'll see the results that you want. So that's been the biggest thing.
Were there any changes to maybe the process that the players were used to, how they used to do things versus how you do things, and how does that really encourage?
Yeah, I'm sure there has been. They'll probably answer that a little bit better than I would. I know there's things that, for me, that I've always done that I think help the players be successful. So I brought those with me here, and then some of that too is me adjusting to Coach Aranda and his system and how he wants things taught, and the teaching progressions and the methodologies for teaching those types of things. So there's been adjusting there for me too. But I think for the most part, those guys are taking advantage of all the resources we're giving them, and I'm liking the progress we're making so far.
You talked about liking the progress. What else are you liking from these guys in your room right now?
Yeah, I like the competitiveness. Today was a really, really good, good on good scrimmage. First time we got to tackle to the ground, so it was good to see some of the guys cut that loose. It's always a hard thing in the off season, spring ball, where you're trying to get better, but you want to keep guys healthy. There's a fine line there, and so I think we've done a pretty good job of keeping everybody off the ground up to this point. And today was the first opportunity we had to, like, hey, let's see these guys cut it loose and play real football. So the competitiveness was there. A good back and forth. Obviously, we go against a really good quarterback every day in practice, and that's going to help us get better. The receiving core on that side is very, very athletic and gives us problems, so that's been good for us too. So I think you take that iron sharpens iron mentality every day to these 15 practices, and I think you come out of it a lot better than you were before you started. So that's been big.
The transfer y'all brought in, how much of an impact has he made, and how much did you need that in that room?
Yeah, I think Calvin's been great. He's a Texas kid from Waxahachie down the road here. He stepped in, and really it was a weird situation because they played in the national championship. So, I think we were already like a week and a half into the semester. So that whole transition piece for him was like a very short turnaround. So I commend him on that. A lot of the other transfers on the team came in December or January, so they had time to get settled in with an apartment and all the things that come with transferring, right? And he didn't really have that. It was kind of like, get here, get moved in, get going. So he's handled that well. He's adjusting well. I'm happy with how he's picked up the scheme and the progress he's making. He's made some plays in spring, which has been good. Today we'll kind of watch the film and see how he looked today. But for the most part, I've been extremely pleased with how he's been.
Someone like Caden Jenkins is seeing really high highs and maybe some low lows as well. I guess, what have you seen from him this spring, and what's it going to take to maybe find that middle ground consistently?
Yeah, I think Caden's got a lot of tools, a lot of upside. Really like his savvy at the position. I think probably the biggest thing watching the film coming in was just the eye discipline. If we can get him to stay assignment discipline and play his 111, I think that's going to help. It'll put him in the right position to make the plays that he's capable of making. So far in the spring, he's done that. He's taken some strides there. He had a play today. I tried to isolate him, and it was good to see him go up and play the ball. I think in the past he's kind of been a little bit more worried about the receiver and kind of, let the referees kind of be a factor in those plays. And today I thought he did a good job of going up and playing the football. So there's been improvement there. So that's been good to see.
What about the depth in the room? Do you feel okay about it? Do you feel like maybe still need to add something there? Or?
I think right now it's probably still a work in progress as far as the depth. 7 practices in. Everybody's still healthy, so that's been good to be able to evaluate the room and kind of build pieces from there. I've been happy with, really I think, to me, I think the thing that I challenged these guys with when I first got here was like, okay, you have about a week, a week to 2 weeks of this off season to really change your body before we start getting really into the heavy running and then into the spring practices, and let's see if you guys can change your bodies a little bit. And a couple of them have done a really nice job of putting weight on, adding it in the right places, and being able to carry it and maintain it through the spring. And I think right now it's just about, getting comfortable with the schematics, getting comfortable with my coaching style, executing the techniques the way we need them executed at a high level. And so I think these guys are every day taking steps in that direction. So I think we'll get to the 15th practice and kind of reevaluate the room and figure out, do we need to add anything to it? Are we good with what we have? Do we shuffle some guys around on the roster? Those kinds of things. I think that's kind of the new college football now. Like every, 4 or 5 months, you got to re-examine your roster and figure out, where we can get better and where we can improve.
You talked about working with Dave. Was there any relationship there, or is that just defensive guys, no defensive guys?
There was no previous relationship, no. I think probably for me it was more of a study from afar type of thing, watching his career from University of Hawaii, being where I started my career on the West Coast, seeing him at Utah State, Wisconsin, LSU, just knowing he's one of the top defensive minds in all of college football. I think the opportunity to learn from him was very intriguing for me. Obviously when coaches move, there's always that family, dynamic of moving your family across the country or, 2 states over. And, when you can only move an hour down the road and kind of make that a little bit more convenient for your wife and your kids, that's always a good thing too, right? So that was part of it,
Did you come in with maybe a clean slate for this group based on how last year went for them? It wasn't the best. Like, how did you kind of wipe the slate clean?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you have to. One of the things, we got to play against them, right? So I kind of saw the product live in person, and I felt like from a talent standpoint, they had some pieces here. I think when you're taking a new job or considering taking a new job, you always got to evaluate the talent on the roster, right, and figure out, how does that compare to where I'm at? And I felt like these guys, and truth be told, some of these guys I recruited too out of high school, right? So I knew of them, I knew what kind of talent level they had. But I feel like, stepping in, you got to give these guys a clean slate, give them the opportunity to prove themselves, give them the opportunity to show what they can do and find a role on the team, all those things. So, yeah, I think you have to come into those situations like that.
We already asked about Caden and Calvin. Who else has stood out this spring? I know LeVar and Tevin had some playing time last year.
Yeah, I think I've been really pleased with the leadership too. LeVar being a younger but returner, he's done a nice job. Really happy with Tevin Williams and Reggie Bush. They've been great from a leadership standpoint. All in all, I think the group is competing. They kind of know, like, hey, every day is going to be a new evaluation, right? And we're going to be comprehensive when we get to the end of spring. Right now, for me, there's no starters. Everybody's competing for the job, and I think that's a big deal for them to understand that. Like, hey, nothing's been set in stone here. I feel good about where we're headed. So that's probably the biggest thing is overall positive feeling about this group.
Tevin, I guess working with a new cornerbacks coach, what's that been like? And was there a big change, or how has he adjusted to you guys too?
I feel like Coach Gonzales has been doing a great job with us. It's definitely more attention to detail for our position group, but I feel like overall it's been a positive change for us. You see a lot of guys taking the coaching better. So yeah, looking forward to more with him.
You talked about a clean slate, for you guys. What, was that a good thing for you? Like, you get a fresh start as well.
Yeah, for sure. Just knowing how he coaches, picking up on his different styles, mannerisms, just learning how to play through like what he wants, and just being able to respond from anything like that.
I mean, that being said, is last year motivation for y'all? Like, you kind of need to step it up a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. If you kind of like just look at our position group, I know we have kind of our ups and downs. So kind of been our whole MO for this season's just been consistent, play by play, doing the same thing over and over.
What's something, an area where you want to try to improve? What's an objective for you this spring?
My main thing is just being available. I feel like I've been hurt too much, so really just being there for my team, just being able to help where I can.
You got a newcomer, Kelvin, to the group. What's he brought, and what's it like to be out there kind of with him?
He's great. I don't know, if you just see him, he's a bigger body corner, so he's a little bit more physical. He's more comfortable in the run game and all that, but it's been good. He has good feet and everything. But I feel like he'll be a solid position for us too.
You talk about consistency and all that. What does it take to get there? Or that's the $1 million question, right? But
yeah.
Do you have a plan to reach that consistency?
I think really just got to take it day by day. Watch the film, break everything down. But kind of at our position, it's hard because you really don't know, because everything's off reaction. But you want to be able to react to the same to stuff and make sure your footwork's consistent. If you keep doing that, it builds up over time.
Is there a leader in that room? It just seems like there's a lot of younger guys, but is there a leader in that room?
Yeah, that's the role I've been trying to take on. I've been trying to step up with, be more vocal. Kind of for me, I always try to lead by example. So that's kind of been something I've been working on, just trying to be more outspoken and picking people up.
What's something different that Coach Gonzales has helped you guys with, or maybe brought a new attitude with this group?
I feel like it's just more, relaxed, kind of with the coaching, but it's more it's higher expectations. He expects you to do something right. But yeah.
Oh man.
What's it like, working with the new coach, and what have you seen from that group too?
Working with him, it's been pretty fun. He explains things very well. He goes in depth, break down the plays that we get, the installs every day. And what it's like working with the group is I would say we're kind of a young group now. Most of the older guys kind of left last year, so we're kind of not rebuild, but in the growing, learning process. So,
what's the biggest difference with Coach Gonzales versus how it's been?
I would say the biggest difference is Coach Gonzales is kind of new, so everything that we're doing now is coming new to him. So this would be his first summer, I guess, first fall camp with us. So I would just say what we do for Coach Gonzales is kind of new just for him. Other than the older guys, since we've been here, we know how summer, fall, next year is going to go. So
some of the things that maybe he wants to do, or the way has that been hard for you and any of the other guys to pick up?
No, I feel everyone's kind of picked it up well. He does a good job explaining what he wants to see from us, and a good job explaining how we're going to do stuff and the way he wants us to do it. So.
Sounded like he evaluated the talent, but it was kind of a clean slate. Is that a good thing for you? Fresh start for you, that kind of thing?
Yes, I feel it's a good thing. Starting fresh. It's take a deep breath and then just start over and have a new guy come in and just let him rebuild you up from ground up. And whatever techniques and stuff like that he wants you to do, you just learn it and just roll with it. So.
Y'all as a group kind of last year had ups and downs. What are the goals for this year, and do you use last year at all as any motivation?
Yeah, I'd say we will use last year, because I know we were probably one of the worst defense coverage units in college football. So I would say this year we just need to stop being like so handsy and stop grabbing, stop with all the PIs and all the just easy free yards that were given to other offenses. So
At the same time, y'all had that great end of the regular season. Do you build on that too as well? I mean, it wasn't all you guys, it wasn't all the offense, but do you build on that 6-game winning streak?
Raina talks about that, like what we did last year is in the past, and right now we're looking for next year is a new year. So yes, we're somewhat looking back about last year, but it's a new year, new team, different people. So we're just gonna build off of what the guys we have now, and see how we could do next season. So.
How refreshing is it to kind of have younger guys and this clean slate you talked about to really just build it up how you guys want to see it?
I feel like it's a pretty good refreshment, because like we only have like, I guess like I think after this year one guy leaving, so we'll be a pretty young group next year too. And just seeing the young guys grow and just becoming calm on the field next year as they potentially play, and then like coach will like just start rolling corners in throughout the game, and it just be like you here, and he'll have no doubt in us, and just fresh legs all over the place. So.
What's the new guy, Calvin? What's he brought to the group, and what's he like to play with out there?
Calvin's just fun to play with. He's swole. He's a big guy. Being out there with him is just fun. He's really physical. Yeah, for him being that big, he's a pretty physical guy, and learning like since he went to the national championship last year, he kind of like tells us like what things were, how it was, his experience going to the national championship and stuff like that. So
good. I guess what's it been like for you? This spring you came in. Coach was saying a little late. Obviously, you went to the national championship. Mm-hmm. What's this whole process been like for you coming here?
At first, it was hectic because I came like straight off the plane, right back here. But ever since then, it was like it started to slow down a little bit. Start getting things into motion, start getting a routine, then really starts running smoothly right now with spring going on. So it's really just all about ball and academics too, but it's really about ball right now.
Why Baylor? Why come here?
It was really Powell was one of the main people that reached out first, and I knew him before he was even here at Baylor too. Then it's close to home, but not too far, but not too close at the same time. And the culture here is real nice, especially being a Christian school. And I feel like where I came from, being heavy in faith is really what drives winning teams too, because having that drive is really a pushing factor of winning.
LeVar said you've shared your national championship experience with them. What was that like for you to go through that?
It was a different experience, once in a lifetime. I realized that like a very small percentage of players ever in college actually go through that, and the fact that I can say that I've been through that is another experience in itself, and I feel like just going through that, I know like personally how like what it takes or how much work has to be put in order to reach that far, to even get to that level in the first place.
Coach Gonzales is also new. What's it been like getting to know him and working with him?
Oh, it's been real nice working with him. He's real good coach. He's very detailed, very caring too. Like he's real spot on, and we kind of came in at the same time, so it was like we was getting to know everybody just like I was. He was new. He was trying to get acclimated just like I was. So it was like we was going through the process together, and everybody, and there's no bias either, because he's new, so everyone's here's what I got, and I'm working with what I got, no bias or nothing, just get to work.
Even though you're new in a young group, can you be a leader, the leader, that kind of thing? Can you lead in that way?
Of course. It's like since there's no like older guys that's been there for like 6 or like 7 years, like previous years, since, you know, the COVID years, all that. I'll say everyone in there has a chance to even be a leader to begin with, because we're like so young, so you can feel it. Like the group as a whole is like a leader in itself, and it's like we take pride in other position groups, because we know, like, being a DB, we gotta move a different way than everybody else.
Has anyone in that room surprised you? I know Caden obviously played a lot. Really, all of them played some, but who stood out among your peers in that room?
I say LeVar too, because, you know, his tall, long wingspan is kind of amazing. How far he can stretch out in like his play, and everybody else, like they always got something to them. Like Reggie, he got speed. Tevin, he's a real aggressive person. It's like everybody got their strong suit, and it's like interchangeable. Everybody got something. It's like there's like no weak link. Everybody got something.
What do you got?
Physicality. I'm like, as you can see, I'm like one of the biggest corners in the room too. So.
What do you think people should know about the cornerbacks room right now?
That we definitely gonna be up this year compared to previous years that I've heard. So defense is definitely gonna be a factor on Baylor's team.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you.